If you've been thinking about changing your relationship with vaping, you can go ahead and check out this free training that my friend Andrew Cipriano hosts each week, where you will learn how to overcome vaping for good. Andrew actually was on my podcast a little while back, titled Life Coach Andrew Cipriano. Go ahead and check that out. The link to his free training to quit vaping for good will be in the description below. Thank you so much, and let's get on with the show.
We just arrived here, and I'm covered in mud. For a starter, we literally said when I said when I walked out, I'm like, we're actually not going to even speak until we start the mic because we need to get this conversation authentic and real.
Absolutely, gotta do it. So you fell in the swamp 20 minutes prior?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
And how did that go down?
Okay, so here's some background. So I'm on Long Island, and obviously with all this flooding that has been going on, it really impacted us as well. And there was a storm. I don't think it was was it Helen? Was the big one, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was Helen for us, but there was a storm that ended up flooding all of the local ponds and lakes and whatever. And so one of those ponds over flooded and is now completely empty. So naturally, I decided before we met up, I would just go and stop and see it on the way here. And I walked out into the marshland because I thought it looked really cool, and I fell through. And I thought about it, like up to like my kneecaps, like that's pretty deep, you know. And I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, that was actually really dangerous because you could like drown, like not drown, but like it's like quicksand. You could like drown in a swamp, you know.
Yeah.
But it was funny because there was this like family of 2 young kids and 2, like a mom and a dad, off to the side kind of, and they see me fall through, and I was like, oh my god, ah! I was like freaking out, and the guy was like thinking, I guess, like, should I go like intervene? And I got out though, you know, independently, but I really thought for a second, like, I'm gonna have to flag this guy down and or die in a swamp, you know.
That's rough.
Yeah, so
wow,
it was a rough start to the day, kind of, but that's like our tendency. Like you and I, we always have some type of chaotic interaction.
Oh my gosh,
you know,
always.
it's never just like, hey, we're hanging out. It's like, what has to happen, you know?
Yeah. No, it's absolutely always chaos. The last time I came to you, we didn't record a podcast. We do this long distance stuff, and we're rocking it. Yeah. Like long distance friendship. We call on the phone. You know, the only time we don't talk on the phone is when we're driving to see each other.
That's
because
so
we're like, we can't.
You know, it's so funny.
There'll be nothing left.
It's so funny you say this. Because literally today, I was like, oh, it's an hour drive. And usually when I have a long drive, I call you.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I have no one to call.
I know.
Like, I have no other friends who I talk to on the phone.
Like, literally, I was just listening to a podcast, and I was like, damn, should I call Emmy? And I was like, no, it's too soon. It's too soon. Can't do it. But the last time I visited you, we went to the mall. That was like a good, you know, middle distant point for us, mid-distant point. And we accidentally just stumbled right on top of the Trump rally.
I forgot that. Sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry if I laughed too loud. I forgot that. I actually forgot that already.
It was so unhinged, and we were completely like confused. And then all of a sudden Emmy goes, oh, that's right, he was doing the Trump rally today at the Nassau Coliseum or whatever.
Nassau something, I don't even know.
Yeah, so we were just driving, and then all of a sudden we see all these cops, we see all of these lines of cars, screaming, music, and we're like, what is going on? And we're like, oh, we're like 10 feet away from the rally on accident.
That's so on brand for us, though. That's so on brand.
I know. That was like really crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. And it's like, oh, sorry, there's a bug on me.
No, you're good.
We're in a field. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
This is truly authentic. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something about that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy.
Crazy, though. It was crazy, though.
Yeah.
It really was. You know, because there was, like, a lot of people, too.
Yeah, it was, like, insane. There was, like, so many cars, and, like, you know, we couldn't even, like, drive past that street. Like, it was hard to, like, there was so much traffic, and I was like, you know, just everyday Long Island traffic.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, this is, like, worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, the main reason why we're on this call is because I wanted to talk about the new Netflix show, Nobody Wants This, on Netflix, starring Kristen Bell, Adam Brody, Justine Lepay, and Timothy Simmons. This show is awesome. So this is going to be a part 1 review of the show because Emmy over here only watched 3 episodes. So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but we're going to get into some like questions that we can answer just kind of in the beginning. And then next week we'll do a part 2. So that'll be really cool. But just to start off, so for context, Nobody Wants This. It's an American romantic comedy television series on Netflix created by Aaron Foster, centered on the unlikely relationship between an outspoken agnostic woman and an unconventional Jewish rabbi. So that's kind of the background. But just to get into it, first of all, what did you think about the idea of incorporating a podcast with a television show?
You know, it's funny because as soon as I, like, okay. When you first told me to watch this show, I'll be so for real. My cinema taste is very abstract, right?
Yeah.
Like, my favorite, I always say this, I've never seen any movie that's really important. Like, I've never seen The Godfather. I've never seen Interstellar. I've never seen, like, anything iconic and important, but I've seen every indie French film on Netflix under the sun. Like, that's just who I am. And I love, like, Wes Anderson. I love Ryan Murphy is one of my favorites. And they're all kind of, like, a little out there and different. So I very, very rarely watch, like, family-friendly, normal TV. And I find Kristen Bell in particular, that's her brand, is that she does all kind of and not even family-friendly, but
Quirky. Goofy.
Yeah, like, she has a very stereotypical kind of role, and I've never liked it. Like, I just never liked it. I always just thought it was kind of like, okay, this is cheesy, whatever, I'm done.
Yeah, cringy. It's like a cringe humor.
It's like a cringe humor.
Yeah.
It's just not for me, but I did watch it because, you know, I knew we were doing this. I was like, I'll go on the treadmill, I'll put the episode on. And I was really pleasantly surprised because the first episode, I really felt like it was funny, but I actually, like, chuckled. It was funny, but in a way that wasn't cringe. It was more real. Yeah. And I thought she did a really good job. I thought everybody in the show did a really nice job. And I guess also because it really, there's a lot of, like, jokes about, like, Jewish culture and stuff, which on Long Island, there's a lot of, like, Jewish people. So, like, I kind of, like, I got a lot of the jokes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really, starting off, I mean, I've only seen 3 episodes, but I was really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, so Morgan was her sister, and Joanne is Kristen Bell, right? Kristen Bell plays Joanne. Yeah. And they have a podcast, and I just love that they incorporated the podcast with it, because it just gave me flashbacks to us.
Oh, yeah, I literally didn't answer the question. Wait. I was getting to that.
It's all right. You were getting to it.
No. The point of that whole rant was that when I saw it, obviously I thought of you because you told me to watch it, but also when I saw that there was a podcast on it, I was like, oh, maybe this is why she wanted me to, why we're doing this particular show.
Right.
Because there was a podcast involved, and I thought it was very tasteful.
Yeah.
You know, because I think sometimes on movies and stuff, even simple things like when they're texting on a phone, right? Sometimes you can really overdo, because in our modern life, in modern TV, you kind of have to include the use of cell phones. Yeah. But, like, say the movies in the 80s, they didn't do that stuff. So, like, to start, like, incorporating that new type of media, I think is tough to make it, like, obviously we're all using cell phones, but I don't want to show, like, me on a phone all day.
Yeah.
And, like, say something like a podcast. Like, I had actually never seen anybody really talk about podcasts on a show yet. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was so excited about it. And it also just made me, because I know we've been talking a lot about, like, you coming on as, like, a monthly segment. Yeah. And this just made me want to do that even more, like, seeing it. Because I was like, oh, no, like, you know what I mean? Because, but yeah, it was so cool. I really liked the idea that they had the podcast. Also, major spoiler alert, if you guys haven't binged this show, go binge the show, or at least watch the first 3 episodes for this podcast and come back and listen to the podcast. So don't want to get in trouble for spoiling anything. But yeah, I really liked that they had a podcast, and it kind of showed the behind the scenes of having a podcast while, like, also living a life, like living a normal life. Because I feel like a lot of people that are like, podcasting is just their whole job, like that's their whole career, but like I do like 3 other things on the side, and I'm like constantly shuffling things, so I totally related when they were like, I'm doing this for the podcast, I'm doing this for, like, I literally say it to my parents all the time, and I sound so cringe when I say it, like I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I'm recording this for the podcast, are you coming on the podcast, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm always saying that, and they were saying that in the show too. Like, they were like, oh, the podcast, like, we have a meeting for the podcast, I totally forgot about it, or like, we're recording video, I totally, like, that I related to so much. And, like, it sounded cringe in the show, but I feel like it is just so cringe. And I'm happy that I started a podcast before the show came out, because if I started a podcast after the show came out, it would have been even more cringe.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm kind of happy that, but yeah, I really liked, it was very relatable, and I liked how they tied that in.
Well, I think that's the whole thing with the show, what was good about it was that the whole thing was kind of very real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be real though.
Yes.
I don't see them as a couple.
Okay, yes.
I don't
my
see.
Next question.
Is that the next
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
I don't see it. Like, I see it in the sense of that she is someone who seems to seek. You know, we all have that friend, and we've all been that friend who seems to seek out dysfunctional relationships, and who seems to like. Almost like self-sabotage or chase the guy they know they're not really into, or that it's not going to work out because they like not really being attached. Yeah. And that's kind of what I get from this, because I don't think this is like the love of her life. Like, just fundamentally, I mean, if he's a rabbi and she's agnostic or even atheist, you could say, unless she decides like she's going to convert and believe in God, like already fundamentally they have a very big difference on not only their lifestyle but their view of life and their meaning of life and their purpose. Like, so in my opinion, you're not going to have like, say, children and like marry and have children and raise your kids with one person who's like, oh yeah, my whole life is being a rabbi, and the other one's like, I don't believe in that. So like, what, you don't believe in my passion? Like, it doesn't line up. But I understand in a short-term sense like why she would pursue him, because she kind of knows it's not going to work out, and that's her pattern. Is chasing people she's not really going to work out with. Do you know what I mean?
It's so tough. It's like such a tough situation that they're in. It really is crazy. But first I want to start off with, what was your first impression of Noah the rabbi? Like, just first impression when he came into the scene. What'd you get from him?
Average
like,
Joe.
What were the vibes?
Average Joe. Like, he's like he's like nerdy cute, you know, not really stunning. I don't think I would have picked him out in a party, especially if I looked like Kristen Bell, you know.
And the whole series they kept talking about how hot he was.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's right? I mean,
yeah, no, he
all of these
is.
people, this is what I always find with TV. This is what I always find. Like, on a show, you're like, oh, they're not that cute.
Yeah.
If you saw them on the street, if you saw them in a bar, you'd be like, that's the hottest person in the bar. Do you know what I mean? Because, but when you're dealing with all these people who are hot, he's like, not that hot. You know, he's not hot enough for me to take up a religion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to convert to Judaism for him. But, his personality, I think, is nice. So far, from what I've seen. I think he's quirky and cute, and he's very good with the banter, and that's what she seems to like, and whatever, but...
he seems very, like, non-judgmental,
which
I think is good. He seems very quirky, very funny. He seems like he can bend a lot towards her personality. Like, I see him almost as, like, a personality chameleon a little bit. Like, he's like, oh, this is funny, yeah, well, it's not really my thing, but, like, yeah, let's do it, you know what I mean? Like, I think he struggles a little bit at, like, defining himself, you know, like, he's good at saying, like, yeah, I'm a rabbi, yeah, this is, like, what I'm passionate about, but when it comes to other, like, things, I see him molding himself a little bit for her, which it is it's not always a bad thing, but that's kind of the vibe I get from him.
Yeah.
But what did you get from Joanne? Her vibes.
Again, well, first I had to get past the fact that she was Kristen Bell. Right? No, seriously, like, I mean, and I'm not saying this like I dislike her, but like I said, I usually don't love a lot of the movies she does because I think it's a little cringy.
It's the genre, really.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be cringe. This is going to be cringe. But once I got past that, I think that she was, I think that she was witty and flirty, great, whatever. And I like that she was real as a character, but... Again, she reminds me of, like, those friends of mine who, like, they're just chasing dysfunction. And, like, I'm at this point in my life where I'm just over that. Yeah. So I'm just like, she's annoying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, she's kind of annoying. Yeah. But I did like her sense of humor. Yeah. Like, as someone who's watching it, I'm like, oh, I like her sense of humor. But if I was like, oh, do I want to be friends with her? I'd be like, no. And a lot of times when you like characters, it's because you kind of would... You're like, oh, I'd be friends with her. I'd be BFFs with her if she was real.
Right,
you know?
Right.
So.
See, It's so funny because I have the totally opposite thing. Like, whenever I see Kristen Bell's in a show or a movie, I immediately watch.
That's so funny.
Immediately. And I did like her character. I thought she was funny. She seemed very, like, down for anything. Like, she's like, I'm here to party. That's the vibe I got from her.
That's true. That's true. She does have that vibe, too.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought what was interesting is that they chose the names Noah and Joanne because they sound horrible together.
Yeah, they
side
do.
by side.
Well, the names to begin with, like, whose name is Joanne?
Shade.
No, really. I mean, that's old. Like, that's an old name.
It is an old name.
It's not like, you know.
And he did say that in the show.
Noah.
He's like, oh, that's an old name.
Yeah, we hate the name Noah, too.
Noah literally is every single romantic comedy male name. We see it in The Notebook. We see it in The Kissing Booth. We see it in so many romantic comedies. I feel like that's just the default.
Speaking of Kissing Booth, do you think I look like Joey King? Be so for real with me.
You know what? I really did not see it.
I don't see it at all either.
No.
It's just because I have brown hair and blue eyes. That's it. Or
Yeah.
no, I don't even have blue eyes. They're green. But I cannot tell you how many times, like in a bar, people have come up to me and be like, you know who you look like? And I'm like, say Joey King. And they're like, yes. Whatever. That's a side note. Whatever. I don't think I look like her. You know who else people said I looked like recently? Who? You know that girl from that show that just came out? The Perfect Couple?
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I haven't seen it, no.
She's another brown-haired, blue-eyed kind of girl.
Okay.
But she has a square face. And people have been telling me I look like her, too. Which I'm like, okay. I mean, both girls are pretty.
Yeah,
but I'm like, okay, I see that a little more. Like, her vibe is a little more my vibe. Like, I have strong features.
Yeah.
Like, she has strong... Whatever. That's just side note. Okay, continue. Continue.
See, I feel like people never tell me that I look like any celebrity at all.
You
like,
don't. I've never seen anyone who looked even close to you.
The only thing I've gotten maybe once, maybe when I was younger, was Bridget Mendler. But that's it. That's
interesting. Yeah,
sort
I kind of get that.
Sort of, right? In a way, ish. That's the only thing I've ever gotten.
Well, you also have changed. Like, you're interesting like this. Like,
yeah.
You look back at pictures of, like, you know that picture of us that we reenacted the other day?
Yeah, you wouldn't even think it's me.
You would not.
Yeah. It'd be like, who's that person?
Like, my face, I think, looks exactly the same.
For the most part,
For the most part. Yours, it really looks like a different person.
Yeah.
And then you versus, like, when you, like, say that age versus then middle school versus, like, you look
middle
really...
school's rough.
But, you know, everybody goes through those changes, but you,
yeah.
in particular, your complete face changed.
Transformed.
Yeah.
Like, people could think I got plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely did not, but...
Yeah, no,
Could go for
I noticed that the other day. I thought about it because it was funny, actually. Alex was... Like, I don't know, he asked me something about you, and we're looking at that picture.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh my gosh, that's Michelle? I said, I know, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't...
Who is that?
They don't look... She doesn't look like this anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, wow.
Straight up not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, so I think they're, like, Noah and Joanne, that kind of sets up the show as, like, the names don't go together, and their kind of pairing is unconventional, pairing a agnostic and, you know, a Jew. So I thought that was interesting. But did you see the first kiss scene?
Yes.
Okay. So I listened to a podcast on Armchair Expert, which Kristen Bell's husband, Dax Shepard, hosts. And she was on with Adam Brody talking about the show. And they were talking about the first kiss scene and how they said it had to be, like, the steamiest thing ever, the hottest thing ever, blah, 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 the hottest first kiss since, like, The Notebook or whatever. And do you remember the scene when they were getting frozen yogurt, I think? And he tells her to put her purse on the ground?
Yes.
So they were talking about that scene, and Adam Brody, who plays Noah, was basically saying, like, I wish they hadn't put that in.
Why?
Because it was so cringe.
Who would put their purse on the ground, first of all, in the streets?
Well, yeah. So, also, she had the tiniest purse. It's not like she had, like, a big tote bag.
Yeah.
But he said, put your purse on the ground, and then he, like, made out with her. But I think Kristen Bell on the podcast was saying the whole thing was, it was like, I need your hands free for what I'm about to do to you.
Yeah.
That was the steamy thing, right?
Yeah.
But it was just so funny that they both kind of, like, were like, oh, yeah, I didn't really like that scene. So I was just curious about, what did you think about the first kiss scene?
So I didn't think that it was cringe, actually. That didn't strike me as, like, oh, that was cringe. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was quirky. But I'm like, but that's, like, it's coming from me, who I'm a quirky person, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember, like, first dates of mine, I would do stupid stuff like that.
I think every guy I've ever kissed, there's been some, like...
Quirky
just
start.
Some quirky stuff,
right?
like, just weird, like, on my part. Like, I just look back and I'm oh my God, like, so cringe.
It was always,
Okay, first kisses are always awkward, though. Like, how can you not be quirky? Also, we're quirky gals. We have a podcast. We're artsy. You know what I mean? But...
Well, my move back in the day, in, like, 2018... was that, you know, I'm short. I'm like 5'3", maybe. I had a good day. I lie about it and say I'm 5'5", but whatever. And I would always, like, say, you know, a guy would be, like, walking you to your car. And, like, they would be, like, that awkward. They wouldn't know what to do. They'd be like, should I kiss you goodbye? Like, type thing. So I would say, hey, like, I would stand on the curb. I would say, like, oh, can you stand next to the curb for a second? And then I would step on the curb and kiss them.
And attack.
Well, not like make out, but I would like kiss them so I was like their same height.
Oh, okay. That's
and it was
cute.
like cute.
Oh,
like they would be
so
like, "Oh my gosh,
cute.
that was so cute and quirky." And I'm like, "I know, it's just cuz I can't reach."
Yeah.
Like
no,
I
that's
couldn't
cute.
initiate because I couldn't whatever. But but about the scene, I didn't think that was weird at all. I do think it's weird, however, that he said all this on a podcast with her husband. That's a lot. Could you write? Dax Shepard's her husband.
Oh, no, but like if you listen to the podcast,
They
they're
don't
all
care.
about that. They're like, let's talk about the kissing. And Dax Shepard is the
He
type
don't
of
care,
person,
huh?
he's like, I wanted you to kiss him more.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, go in.
See, you need that if you're in like in that type
Yeah.
of field. Like you need someone who is he an actor too?
He's an actor too, but now he just does podcasting. But he's so that way of like, he does not care and he roots for them to make out and
That's so healthy.
go
though.
in and go harder, like all that stuff. Yeah, so that's like their whole dynamic. But yeah, ultimately, I really liked the first kiss. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was steamy. I thought it lived up to the expectation. And it wasn't like a wet kiss. You know what I mean?
No, actually, I was
those are the
very
worst.
impressed by that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you see shows. I watch a lot of The Bachelor, and you know, those are real life smooches, allegedly, real life reality TV.
Sure.
And you know, you see a lot of people are not good kissers. A lot of people are not good. But I will say that guy Noah, he did something different. I was like, okay, this looks polished and
Yeah, it was definitely polished.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, I think it was good.
But see, the passion wasn't there though.
Really?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Hear me out. Again, it doesn't feel believable to me because I'm like, they just don't look right to me together. They don't look right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like pheromone-wise, they don't look right. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh.
Like you ever look at somebody and kind of guess how they're gonna like? Okay.
The pheromones.
Are we allowed? How crazy do we get on this podcast? Not crazy.
Not too crazy.
Not too.
Not
Okay.
too
Okay.
crazy.
So how can I say this?
Pheromone is basically like you wouldn't have a problem jumping in the other person's armpit.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to actually take a bite of the other person.
Okay.
Do you ever feel? Sometimes I physically want to like take a bite.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny with the pheromones because you're attracted to their smell, they're attracted to your smell, but when you're together, you form your own smell, especially when you're sharing a bed, right? So it's like, that's like the smell of the other person, but also your conjoined smell because you have a smell together.
Well, I wonder if like your children have like that combined smell too.
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? I feel like I smell like my dad and my sister smells like my mom because I like how my dad smells.
Yeah.
Like, and not like neither of them smell bad.
Yeah.
But like I prefer my dad's smell, like say in his room, his pillow. I like the smell of his pillow.
So you probably have more of your dad's smell.
Right. Whereas my mom and my sister have like almost like a smell like they smell like baby powder to me, but I don't like it. Like pheromone wise, I'm like I don't really like that. I like dad's smell better.
You know, it's so funny because I never thought about the pheromone thing for like the longest time. It never like registered for me. But now I totally understand. I mean, I totally get the pheromone. I think it's important.
I take it so seriously.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could sense the pheromone. I don't have as good of a pheromone detector as you because you were able to detect it through the screen.
Yeah. No, hear me out. I'm just saying, like you can.
You're
look
predicting.
At him.
You're predicting.
You can kind of guess, kind of what. I don't know. Listen. I think about this stuff a lot because.
Do we think they're pheromone compatible? Maybe not.
I don't think they are, but I think about this stuff a lot. Like especially, I don't know. You know what? Keep going. I'm gonna not even get into this. This is a whole separate route. I'm not even gonna get into.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay, so what did you end on? Because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Literally that episode, I think.
After the kiss?
Yeah.
Or what else happened?
Yeah. No, maybe I started the next one. So maybe I started the third one. Did I finish? I don't even know what episode I'm on.
Because I think it ended one episode on the kiss. Or, like, very quickly after.
No, that was 2. Definitely 2.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
episode 1 ended in the church.
Okay.
Or the
temple.
temple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Episode 2 ended with the smooch.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I didn't finish episode 3. But I know I started it because they were talking about it. She was talking about it and like, oh, they told me to put my ice cream down and my bag down. And
the ice cream.
Yeah, and something else. I don't know. But so I was like halfway through the third one.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So what was your impression of Morgan and Joanne's sister dynamic? I know we don't see a lot of it in the 3 episodes, but Morgan seems to be a lot more like outspoken, unhinged, super honest, and Joanne's kind of like chill, stop judging my life.
Yes. I like their dynamic. They seem more like friends than sisters to me.
Yeah, definitely
they
seem more like friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sister, I feel like, I don't know. It just feels different.
Yeah, it is different.
Relationships.
But I think they're a lot more honest with each other than maybe friends would be.
Yeah, I guess that's
they're
true.
A lot more like, you know, she's very critical of Noah, and she's like, oh, like, you know, you shouldn't be so wrapped up in a guy. Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah. You know, like, she's very critical of him. Yeah. And his family's very critical of her because, you know, she's agnostic. So I thought that was interesting. So Sasha was introduced, right? Noah's brother?
Yes.
So what'd you think of Sasha, first impression?
He's just unhinged.
Yeah.
He's like the uncle we all have who like low-key wants to cheat on his wife but doesn't. And like low-key loves his wife but also like watches porn. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just like one of those.
A little unhinged.
You know, who like drop the kids off at like football practice and like actually leave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we love him, but I don't know.
A little wacky.
This is the thing. To be fair, I don't know any of them well enough to really do a full character analysis. Like, I can't really, like, deep dive and say, oh, I love them, I hate that. Like, this is all first impressions. Yeah, which is sometimes the most important, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I think that's where we'll end here with the Netflix show discussion, because next week when you finish it, we'll get more into it. There's a lot more questions and things to unpack, but this is just like an initial thing. But I do want to hear your prediction for how you think it's going to end or what's going to transpire with their relationship, because I've already seen it. You haven't seen the rest, but I want to just end with your prediction and then we'll move on.
I think, good question. Well, because it's a Kristen Bell film, I think they'll end up together.
Okay.
Because it's family friendly and everything always works out. Or he could do like it will be one of those where they learn a lot about each other, or a lot about themselves from each other, and then they go out and they form relationships with other people that are now healthier and better for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that. I think that may be more likely that he goes and finds himself a nice Jewish girl, and she just decides she's not going to date toxic men anymore.
But she learned a lot.
Yeah, but she learned a lot from him.
Right.
You know, I don't think she's like going to become a Joe, but like I think she'll, she'll grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wind's blowing. The pages went.
No, I think that's a good prediction. So next week, we'll record again and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, 10 episodes, so you got 3 out of 10. That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's really the story. We're gonna get going on this garden trail.
Yeah.
And just spend the day together and vibe. Yeah, that's really all. Oh, did you see on the news that there was this woman on Long Island? I saw it the other day when I was in the laundromat.
That's like saying the Florida woman, like the Florida man, the woman on Long Island. Go ahead.
So there was a woman on Long Island, and she had a house that was filled to the brim with birds and cats and dogs and animals and everything. And apparently she had to be taken out of her house because the smell was so bad, and it was like an issue of like safety.
Oh my gosh.
And the animals were also like not doing great.
Right.
And she was in her 70s. And I think she was a past veterinarian, so kind of a sad story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened.
You know, there was actually a lady, I don't know if it's the same lady, that happened very, very close to my home. It happened like literally 5 minutes away from my
When did it happen?
This was a summer ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably happened since. I mean, there's probably multiple people out there who do that, but it was actually, the house was right across the street from a good friend of mine, and she said, like, nobody knew that. You know, they had all these animals, like, in the basement, nobody knew, and it's scary because you think, like, that's a health violation. Also, I'm looking out at this field. You seen those little speckled moths that people say you gotta kill?
Right.
I can't do it.
I can't kill any
I can't
bugs,
kill nothing.
man.
I don't kill bugs at all. You know what?
Can't.
I always think to myself, you know what? This is God sent these to kill off everything, and I can't stop them.
No, seriously, like, I really can't do it. I have such a hard time with it, and I think that's so funny that you're the same.
I know, I feel bad. Look at him. He's crawling up to us. Like, what am I gonna do? Hey, come here. Let me kill you. I don't know.
It's so hard because, listen, I always look at it like this. If we go to another planet, right? Because, okay, they're on our planet, these bugs, but really they're experiencing a different planet than us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if we go to another planet and we just get exterminated by these bigger creatures, that's terrible. That's immoral.
We're literally the
right?
most invasive species. If anybody wanted to, like, save the environment, they should just kill us off.
Wait, well, let's not go that far.
The way you were like, wait, let's keep it, like, not, I don't know. I'm like an anarchist, low-key.
Low-key. But yeah, no, that's why I really have a hard time killing bugs, and it's a tough one. But also, if you live down south, like in Florida and stuff, it's like just a normal thing to have an exterminator by your house.
Really?
Like, you know what I mean? Like a plumber. Exterminator. Because the bugs are huge. Yeah. They're huge. And when you live in a hot environment like that, they're always around. And they're bigger.
That's scary.
They're bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, see, maybe I'm so nice to bugs because I live up here where they're all kind of cute and nice and small.
Like the south is more unhinged, I think, with the bugs.
Yeah, like if there's a little, and even like stuff like mice.
Yeah.
Like if there's a little baby brown mouse, it's like, oh, he's so cute when you put him outside. But like if there was a big snake in my house, I may kill it.
I know.
Like, am I going to take it outside?
Self-defense? Absolutely.
Self-defense is different.
Listen, self-defense
Snakes will
is different.
bite you, but also the spider. Oh my gosh, another fun story. This is just a side note. I know we're trying to wrap it up. Here's just a side note about bugs, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Yesterday I was gardening because I plant bulbs for a guy. And
as you should.
Literally, as I was gardening, this has never happened to me before. My whole entire body became itchy all in one. Wait, background. We were supposed to record this yesterday, and we didn't because of this situation. I was gardening. My whole body, like, on fire. Like, you ever drink a C4 and your mouth starts to itch?
What's a C4?
It's an energy drink. It has some weird, like, thing in it that makes you, I don't know, whatever. But it felt like that
Foam at
all
the mouth?
over.
What are we doing?
No, it makes you, like, itch. Like, it tingles, you know, so it feels itchy. Okay. My whole body was tingling. Yeah. And I freaked out. Yeah. They have an outdoor shower at this house. I ran into the shower. I'm like showering. It's not going away. I'm thinking, is this poison ivy? And I'm like, it's not poison ivy because I had no rash. And it was so sudden. Like, it was my whole body all at once. Yeah. I go home. I'm freaking out. I'm saying to my mom, like, my body's itching, you know. Yeah. She gives me, like, a Benadryl. And it, you know, takes a while, but eventually it starts, like, going away. Yeah. But I was freaking out because I was like, oh my gosh, what if it's coming back? Like, was that an allergic reaction? Whatever. My cousin, apparently, who lives in Delaware, had experienced something very similar, not long, like about a month ago, while also gardening. And she said that she had gotten bitten by, like, a bug or, like, a spider. Oh, okay. And she thinks that's what it was. But it had lasted, like, a couple of days for her. Damn. So I was thinking, oh, my gosh, it's gonna come back, like, as soon as this wears off, and I'm gonna, whatever. So I was just freaking out, but... obviously, I'm fine, and knock on wood today, I feel okay. But I really thought, like, I guess I got bit by a spider or something. Yeah. But it was, I don't know, it was just so weird.
So was it, like, your whole body? Yeah. Was it hives, or was it a rash?
There was no rash, no redness, no nothing. It just felt itchy. Like, it felt, like my whole body was tingling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
It really was very weird.
Wow.
But, you know, I survived, so.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you're okay. I'm really glad you're okay.
Yeah.
We're here. We're vibing. We always make it happen. Like, we're
do.
like, listen. And also, whenever we see each other, we just go ham. Like, we're like doing a fancy dinner. We're doing fancy this. And I'm like, if we're making this a weekly thing.
I know! No, last time I literally said, I spent money like I was dying. I literally, last time we were together,
see each other, that's the vibe, though.
No, actually, Michelle, you know how much money I spent actually last time we were together? Guess.
Was it like the fancy nonsense that we got?
When,
like the
it was when we went.
Stuff?
We went shop. Okay, so this is what we did.
The shopping.
We went shopping and I got a bunch of clothes, but it was a business expense. To be fair,
it was
clothes for my job.
Yeah.
So we got clothes, we got lunch, we got this like fancy cake
for no reason.
Oh, we also got coffee and pastries beforehand, before all this. Guess how much I ended up spending? Just good.
I already know. You spent like close to like $800.
Yeah, it was like $700. It was like $750.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
In one day. Not even. Oh god.
Absolutely unhinged.
It was crazy.
This is why we have to live so far away, because it's just dangerous.
Well, that's what happened when we went to Jones Beach too.
Yeah.
Because we went to Jones Beach and we did a lot of fun stuff though. Like because the beach is like, all right.
We went on an obstacle course, almost like completely destroyed our bodies.
That was crazy. No, that was cool though. I'm happy we did that. I never would have done that with anybody else either, because I was low key really scared. But like, you were just funny. It just because I was so busy laughing.
Just straight up gooning the whole time.
Yeah, I was so busy laughing that I was like, I'm forgetting that I'm 50 feet in the air.
Right.
But no, like even then though, like that high thing is like $50. Parking at the beach is $10. Going out to it's like you realize how easy it is to spend $100 like in your day to day. You know, it's so insane. Even here, we're at a park. It's $15. I get it, but like, what the frick?
I know.
Like, why can't it be free? It's grass. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with the East Coast. It's like you have to pay
for everything. The beach,
like,
the park, the parking. Oh,
you go to other places, it's not like that. Like when I went to the beach in Florida, you don't pay. You just walk on the beach. Like that's just normal over there.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, I don't know. The East Coast is a little unhinged in that sense, but So I think we should do a monthly segment where we just come on and talk. And I know a lot of, part of me is like, oh, like we should just like come up with a topic and stuff. But also I feel like our best content is when we're just free flowing.
Oh yeah.
So I think we should just have like a topic just as a back burner. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what we did by accident.
Just as right.
I love how you and I were like, oh my gosh, do you think we'll have enough content to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. And then we get going. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So I think we should just have like a backup kind of topic, and then we just like, just chill and just talk about literally whatever. And I think I look back at all these content creators like, Emma Chamberlain and other people that just got big by just talking about stuff that's on their mind. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my vibe. And you know what? If the podcast gets huge, it gets huge. If it doesn't, like I just truly enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know that sounds really corny, but like,
well, low-key, this is a great record for us.
Yeah.
Like in 20 years, we'll look back and be like, oh my gosh, let's listen to that thing about, I don't know.
Exactly. And like, I'm going to get real. There's 54 Spotify followers on this podcast. This is not a major podcast, right?
Yet.
So we have 54 followers. So if you're listening to this and you're on Spotify, just hit the follow button. I really appreciate it. Not to sound like mega cringe, but because I know that's
if you
cringe.
don't promote you, who will?
It's really cringe, but we're just going to go for it. So yeah, if you want to share this podcast, follow this podcast, it's just like chill vibes. You know what I mean? It's nothing like crazy production. You know what I mean? We're just chilling. I truly enjoy doing it, but I also want to end on talking about my international Spotify followers, which is actually insane. It's insane because I do only have 54 followers and most of them are people that I know.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that I have obviously the US, I have the United Kingdom, Russia, Australia, Ireland, Mexico, France, Germany, Switzerland, India, Greece, and the Czech Republic.
Wow.
So,
that's
shout out to you guys. Yeah. Let me just take a minute and shout out.
The bilingual queens and kings out there.
Like, that actually, like, makes me so happy. Because, like, you truly never know who's listening. No. And the Spotify for podcasters, you can't tell who's listening. It's not like Instagram.
No.
So, I really appreciate international listeners. I'm actually so excited about that.
I would love to be able to know who's listening. Oh, the plane overhead.
Yeah.
Just because I'm nosy, I would love to be like, oh, my ex from 5 years ago listened to my podcast. Of
Right,
course
right.
he did.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Ugh, I'm so nosy. That would torture me. But whatever.
Yeah. But also follow the podcast Instagram at Laugh Often Pod. I've been doing like some recipes up there. I've been
Yes, I
posting
saw
some
that.
recipes.
That's cute.
I'm also trying to post.
You and your Chamberlain coffee and
I know.
stuff.
Love it. Love the Chamberlain coffee. Shout out.
I love how you say coffee and I say coffee and it's just...
Coffee.
that's crazy.
Coffee. Yeah. And so I'm posting recipes on there. I like to do that. Also, I'm posting my singing. I've been slacking on the singing. I need to get back into that. And I do really want to like record a podcast jingle that I sing. That's my next plan. That's what I really want to do, like in the beginning, the intro, the outro, that kind of stuff. But yeah, at Laugh Often Pod on Instagram. And I just posted a video for an apple butternut squash recipe, which came out so good. I posted on my Instagram. Everyone go check it out at Laugh Often Pod, at Laugh Often Pod. Haha. So apple butter, I got it at this farm. It's called Demers Farms. Shout out. Apple butter, amazing. I'm sure they sell it all over the place, right? It's like a thing. So you get butternut squash, you cube it. Also, I believe it's vegan. Okay. I'm going to tell you the ingredients.
Sounds like it so
let
far.
Me know. Okay. So it's apple butter, butternut squash, and sage, fresh sage.
That's it?
That's really it.
Oh, wow.
So you cube up the butternut squash.
Yeah.
And then in a bowl, you put the apple butter in, you put fresh sage, and you chop it up. You put salt and pepper, oil, put it on a baking sheet like you're cooking potatoes. Throw it in there at 400 for like 15 minutes or so. I eyeballed all the ingredients. There's no exact thing. Put it in for like about 15 minutes until you could put a fork through it and it's soft enough like a potato. You take it out. It tastes phenomenal. So go check it out. I posted the video on my Instagram at Laugh Often Pod. If you guys wind up making the recipe, record a video of you making it and tag the Instagram because I'm so curious to see what you guys think of it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love soup. I love soup.
Oh, I was like, soup?
Yeah, isn't this soup that you just made?
Bro, this is cubed butternut squash.
Wait! Wait! I thought you just said that you would make butternut squash apple butter soup.
No soup. No, actually, no. When people
Am I even paying attention?
Okay.
Because
I'm actually happy you brought it up because when people hear butternut squash, they automatically think soup, and I didn't specify.
Maybe that's what yeah.
So that is my fault.
My brain did. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's butternut squash cubed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like potatoes.
Cubed. Oh.
Cubed butternut squash. It's
anyway,
like a side dish.
love soup.
Side vegetable. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And you know, if you want to spice it up and get nuts, I'm sure you could put dried cranberries in there too.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you want to get real nuts.
Butternut squash is one of those things you can do so much with.
I'm obsessed with
that
butternut
and cauliflower.
squash.
Cauliflower,
Yeah.
it's like cauliflower pays the rent. I'll tell you.
Buffalo cauliflower.
Oh, but
Amazing.
Cauliflower anything.
Yeah.
Cauliflower soup.
Oh, also we need to find a vegan place to have lunch. I think it's time.
I'm already on it.
Because
I
last
already
time,
Googled.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because last time what did I say last time to you? I feel like I'm eating the earth when I say
I know.
Because
I was sad when you said that.
I'm a fake vegan. Like I'm not really like completely on it.
You're holistic.
I'm more
a holistic
holistic.
eater.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm always looking for like the healthiest, like purest ingredients in eating it. Like I mean, like listen, I'm not like perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not like a health wacko.
I'm not anymore. I'm reformed.
I'm not like extreme. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. Oh, I'm so great. I am healthy. No, I'm not like that. But I do try.
You're like a normal person who like tries to eat better.
Listen, I'm
overall.
just normal. That's it.
Yeah.
Some people are, some people aren't. I'm normal.
The way it's changed over, like when we were younger, we would go the whole week. We were on vacation because if you don't know, that's how we met, on vacation.
Yeah.
Literally, all I would eat the morning would be pancakes, bacon, eggs.
Silver dollar.
Oh.
Shout out.
And Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
And pastries that were on the table if my dad wouldn't like slap my hand before I
He was so strict
He
with
was
that.
so crazy. Like he still is. He's insane. He was a wrestler and a doctor, so now he's like a health obsessed.
Also, No, I'm not gonna say it.
What? What? He's just
That would have
crazy.
came out really weird.
What?
Well, you used his photos from middle school.
Oh, we told
As a
that one.
catfish.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
right.
So my dad, I once used I catfished Michelle's friends at with photos of my dad when he was young.
And from the 70s.
From the 70s.
In 70s outfits, nobody put it together.
Nope, and I pretended that he was Michelle's boyfriend, which was vintage and cool.
Yeah.
So
He was long distance. It was a whole thing.
Low-key now, if you had pictures of him, like, with the 70s clothes, those clothes all came back in style. People would think he was just, like, really trendy cool. But anyway, all this aside, he was crazy. But, and then what would we eat out on the island? We'd eat, like, hot dogs, sausage, peppers. Like, I think I ate 100 marshmallows a day.
Roasted peaches.
Oh, please. But everything that was, I mean, none of it was healthy. I think at dinner, I wouldn't even eat dinner. I'd eat sherbet. Like, the rainbow sherbet. Remember that stuff? Oh.
And then we'd run around that canoe. Oh, my God. And our feet would be black coming back to the, like, room.
The couple of times that I begged my father, again, always my father, because he was the, whatever. He was the disciplinary, I guess. I would beg him for like $1 to get a brisk iced tea from the machine. Yeah. And I think out of the 10 years we went, I think out of the 10 years we went, I got $1 maybe twice. And I will never forget the taste, like how good that brisk iced tea hit. Because they hit anyway. Yeah. But when you're running around for hours on hours and then you're like, you wash it down with a brisk, there was just nothing like it.
And I feel like we definitely... honestly, the brisk. But I feel like we definitely gave our parents some time for them to relax because we were so, like...
I don't even know where our parents were. Where were our parents?
They were just vibing. They're like, you do you,
They were,
girl.
like, drinking wine. Remember they were drinking wine and they were, like, lying on the piano? Yeah. Pretending they were, like, showgirls. Do you remember this?
Honestly, like, that's kind of the goal, though, like, when I'm a parent. Like, that's kind of it.
Oh, yeah.
Not, like, no, I mean, not in, like, a neglectful way, obviously.
Oh, no, my children will be true beer garden babies. Like, I will be bringing them to the beer garden on Sunday afternoon.
No, like, our parents...
We're playing cornhole, drinking beers, hanging out. But craft beers, because it's not trashy. Right, because if it's, like, canned beer, then it's a little trashy. But if it's craft, out of a stein...
Yeah.
It's
honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, shout out to our parents. They're incredible parents. We love them.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. They gave us, like, such an amazing childhood and such an amazing opportunity to meet each other and vacation together and everything. It was such a great experience.
Low-key, we did have a good childhood. We had fun.
It was amazing. And, so we would just, like, do all this unhinged stuff and just run around and just keep ourselves busy. And that's what I really want for my future kids. I don't want them to be sucked into the iPad stuff. Like, we were, like, in the dirt, like, pretending to be mermaids to a point where it was a little bit, strange, some would say. But that's what it is to be a kid. You're a little strange. You know what I mean? You're make-believe. You're doing your make-believe stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If you're not strange, you're boring when you're young.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I really want that. I want that vibe.
My children are being thrown in a lake as soon as they're able to swim. Like, thrown physically.
Yeah. No, not physically.
You can't throw a child.
Traumatize them.
What? You can't throw the... Well, I guess you're...
Yeah.
I don't want... Okay, I'm not traumatizing any children. But I'm saying, like...
You're going to teach them how to swim.
I'm, like, taking the leash off and letting them run around in the woods in a lake all week,
Yes.
For, like, weeks at a time.
I know what you mean. I just want the listeners... to also know what you mean.
I'm a nice girl.
I know what you mean.
Oh, I dropped my headphone.
Anyway. But yeah, on that note, we're going to go enjoy this garden. Yeah. And,
we're going to go have ourselves a day.
Straight up vibe. And eat vegan food and chill. So,
going to hide my credit card so I can't spend any money.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll talk soon. We'll talk next Friday. We'll do a part 2. Finish up the Netflix review of Nobody Wants This. So we'll talk soon, Emmy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.